Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we're going to be looking at how to make bass like this. So without further ado, let's get right into it and look at how we make this type of bass. Okay, so we have an initialized preset here, guys. First thing I want to do is just add my wavetable. So let's go basic shapes on this one. And on this one, we're going to look for the Harmonic series, which I can find down here. So I'm going to set the first shape to this frame. So we get the second sine wave that's available to us in the basic shapes here in Vital. We're going to bring this down to 0 on this one. This one we're going to go up to 8 voices, and let's bring the user down to about 14, something like that. Okay, and I also want to, on the wavetable position here in the frame rate, I need to change this as well. So let's bring this up a little bit to around about there somewhere, I think we'll do. Let's just check it out, see what it sounds like on its own. Let's play solo there. Let's check it. Okay, so we're already getting the tonality of the sound. So we got the very basics of the sound already straight from just that little step there. Okay, got a bit of clicking and stuff, so we need to go into the envelope here, and let's move the attack up to like something around here. Somewhere will do. Maybe we can just bring this up a bit to soften it as well. And we want quite a quick release on this one, because we don't want the release to hang around too long. We want it to finish quite quickly. So I'm going to just bring this around about here somewhere, so it's quite quick, 120, something like that. Let's just listen to that, see how quickly it stops. Cool, sounds about right. Okay, so we're not getting too much tail there because we want those notes to stop quite abruptly in this particular pattern here that I got. So, as you can see, we've got the kind of tonality of the sound already here sorted. So I'm just going to go into the white noise and into the sampler, sorry. And on this one, let's go for a different noise. Let's go pink noise. On this one, I'm going to turn the level down. Now, this is going to be controlled by an LFO shortly. I'm going to leave the destinations of each oscillator as they are, actually, because I will be setting this up as well, and this is going to go to another modulation. So we're going to modulate with one LFO in a minute. Let's just turn our voices down to 1. Let's turn the glide up to around 50 something. Around there somewhere will do. Okay. And let's turn on the legato. And let's set up the filters now. So let's go to filter 1 first. Now we've got oscillator 1 going to filter 1. Let's put the cutoff around about there will do. Okay. Resonance, we don't want all the resonance, but we'll leave a little bit of resonance on this one. So we'll take this one down to about there. And we'll put the drive up as well. Let's put the drive all the way up, shall we? We'll leave the key tracking off for this one. Let's go to filter 2 now. In filter 2, we're going to have this one set up and oscillator 2. So there we go, it's already done. We want this one to come down to about 130, something like that. That will do. Key tracking. Let's do the resonance first. Resonance, we want the resonance to go up a little bit, actually, this one. A tiny bit. So around about there somewhere. Key tracking, I'm going to have the key tracking down slightly to about 50. That'll do. And the drive can go to about 9, something like that. So let's check that out. Okay, so we've got that set up perfectly. We're also going to modulate this cutoff slightly just to give this higher frequency of the sound a little bit of movement. Okay, so we're going to do that by setting up LFO1. So let's go and set up LFO1 because we know what we want this to go to a few things. And then we'll start looking at the effects section. So let's just go and set up now this LFO1. So we want the LFO1 to be on like 1/2. We want it in trigger mode so it keeps playing. Let's make some kind of shape. There we go. And then we'll set this to the level of the noise first of all, because we want that to come in slightly. So like 3 something like that. Let's check it. Okay, that will do. So we got our level of that going. Let's now set up our filters. So we know that filter 2, I want a bit of movement on there. So I'm going to drag this to the cutoff of filter 2. Once again, I'm going to be quite subtle with it really. So let's bring it down a fair bit. Let's do this around there somewhere, I reckon we'll do. Let's just check that, see what we get. Cool, okay, so just a subtle bit of movement going on now on that filter. Okay, so now we've set up all that, let's go into the effects section. So the only thing we're really missing is some sort of depth and volume in the sounds. So there's a couple of things we can do in order to set this up. So let's go into, first of all, the chorus. Let's set up a chorus. Okay, so that's the chorus. Let's now, let's just check this to make sure it sounds okay. Turn it off, A and B it. Okay, so you can hear it's very subtle. The next thing we want to add is the distortion. So this is going to help with the noise coming through here as well. Let's change the distortion type. Let's go for a sine fold this time. And let's have the drive set to like minus something, -6. That will do around there somewhere. And we're also going to add this to the drive. So now this is going to move the drive a little bit. Let's have that quite subtle once again, or around about 20, something like that. So we can play with the amount of this drive. Let's set a macro to it as well, and we'll set the macro all the way up. And then we can set the macro to a level that we're happy with. That will do. Let's check that out. Okay, let's turn the mix down a bit so that it's not so aggressive. Let's have the mix around here somewhere. Now let's check it. So you can hear there's a little clicking. So I'm gonna move this now to sync mode, because the clicking is where it's just resetting the trigger every time a new note plays in the MIDI. By using sync, it's not going to reset every time the new note plays. It's just going to carry along this cycle. That should hopefully get rid of all those clicks. We might still have one at the beginning. Let's check. Okay, cool. So you can see that's got rid of the clicking. Nice. Let's find a nice sweet spot. Okay, so you can still hit this occasional click on some of the cycles. So the best way around that would be to just bounce it, obviously, and then you can choose the cycles that don't have the clicks on it, because it's not doing it every time. So the next thing I want to add after having the distortion is going to be an EQ. So we've got something like that. Just bring down the high end, and that sort of mid-range frequencies we just scooped a little bit out of there. Let's have a listen, see if we can maybe, let's highlight the low end, see if we can maybe give that a boost. We could maybe, for example, boost that. Cool, so we're getting a fair bit of boost on there now. Okay, that will do for the EQ, I think. And the next thing I want to do is probably add a compressor just to boost up our volume. We could just turn up the volume, but let's add a compressor to this one just to give it a little bit of extra oomph. So obviously we can go even further, see where we get to this. Do. So we got that near the zero here. The last little thing I want to do for the effects is just come in here and add a bit of reverb. Okay, so we could obviously push the volume a little bit here. Let's get it so it's hitting exactly zero. Okay, let's check this, for example. Let's come and check this now over the drums and see what we're sounding like. Cool guys, so that's what I wanted to pretty much show you just for today, was this kind of bass, how we can create this type of bass. We will come back to this track actually, I think, and I'll show you a couple other things we could do just to add a bit more interest to this kind of loop. Like we'll look at kind of transitions, we'll look at adding maybe another little bass part to this as well, so that it could have a little change occasionally. So we'll come back to that in another video and have a look. So if you like what you heard so far and are interested in that one, then keep your eyes peeled for that. That will be coming soon. So thanks for your time, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something in this one. Until the next one, take care of yourselves. Peace.